Legendary rock star Bruce Springsteen recently performed at a show on Broadway. Before the show began, Democratic House Leader Nancy Pelosi received a round of applause from the audience. After the show, Pelosi hobnobbed with the boss himself. Springsteen built a reputation as being the working man's rock star, and in an interview with Hollywood superstar Tom Hanks, Springsteen admitted to his own struggles with the big thumb of government.
But a man also has to pay his taxes, which you did not do for your entire life until I believe someone said, "Hey, Mr. Time Magazine Newsweek cover, have you ever paid your taxes?" And the answer was,
we were Willie Nelson in reverse. We didn't pay. First of all, I never met anyone in New Jersey who paid any tax. I mean, you have to understand, the entire state wasn't paying any taxes. And certainly, no one under 25 was paying any taxes. So we never paid any tax. And then when we got with Mike Appel, he was handling all our business. And his thing was, we're not paying any fucking taxes. And so years went by, and greetings, wow, this is born around. All of this time went by, nobody's paying any taxes. And I mean, me, the band, no one I know. So finally some guy at IRS must have got smart and said, who's this guy on the cover of these magazines? Let's see what he's doing. And they came after us, and I had to work for a couple of years, like for somebody else every night.
By the way, when you say work for a couple of years, you had to go off on those tours that we all saw you on. But you were not working for yourself.
Well, not for a long time, not until 1980.
1980?
Yeah, because not only did I have to pay all the taxes that I hadn't paid, and then bills that I hadn't paid, because we didn't pay any bills either.
Springsteen's aversion to taxes is a reality felt by all Americans, particularly those in the middle class, so his close association with Nancy Pelosi might be confusing for some. Pelosi's leftist policies have done considerable damage to her home state of California. Multiple cities have filed for bankruptcy due to wild spending and mismanagement.
An agricultural center located just outside of San Francisco in California's Central Valley, Stockton was a booming suburb in the 1990s, providing an affordable living alternative to the pricey real estate of the Bay Area. Living large off the new property taxes created by the housing bubble, the city government spent lavishly on big public works projects like a waterfront park, an arena, and a brand new city hall, which sits nearly empty, as the city government could never actually afford to move in. Promotional flyers still remain plastered to empty buildings downtown, reminders of a more hopeful time. But even all this spending pales in comparison to the magnitude of Stockton's public employee pension and benefit obligations. The city now faces more than $800 million in unfunded liabilities for pensions and other employee benefits.
Conservative scholar and native Californian Victor Davis Hanson broke down how the state is hollowing out the middle class.
The rest of us and our viewers who don't live in California must be thinking, well, okay, but what does this have to do with us? Should we be worried about this in the rest of the country?
Yeah, I think so, because California gave us Deukmejian, Reagan, Pete Wilson, and it was sudden. It flipped suddenly to a one-party state, and that was this weird new combination of the Democratic Party. It's a pyramidal society where very wealthy, America's wealthy people are left-wing now. They're very ultra-wealthy.
Yes.
And then they have a subsidized poor on the bottom, and that was the paradigm that over-regulated, overtaxed, and sent people out,
But can I
out of the
ask
state.
one question that I honestly don't understand? So let's say you're the 41-year-old multi-billionaire who owns Twitter.
Yeah.
And 10 minutes away, people are dying of ODs in the sidewalk. Why don't you do something? I mean,
Because
Carnegie would have, Rockefeller would have.
You feel guilty about your wealth, so in the abstract, you can afford to be left-wing and help the, quote, poor, while your kids go to in the Menlo Park, Sacred Heart, or Castanea.
Yeah.
And then you have a big
My
walls.
mother went to
Remember,
Castanea.
walls don't work on the southern border, but they sure work in Atherton and Hillsborough around your estate.
Yes.
So you have ways with your power, wealth, and influence and navigate around the ramifications of your own ideology. And that's what they do.
But you'd think they would want to help the people right outside their door.
You think so. You go to Redwood City, which is the service area for Silicon Valley, and poor Mexican-American people are living 6 and 7 families to a house, right under the noses of these people. So I don't think they're very liberal at all.
Pelosi's home district encompassing San Francisco is getting hit particularly hard. Even people leaving the state are feeling the wallet crunch on their way out the door.
KPX5's Kit Doe tells us so many people are moving out, it's creating a major shortage of moving vans.
If you think living in the Bay Area is expensive, try leaving it. Everywhere you look, there are signs people are fleeing the region's sky-high housing prices. For instance, U-Haul. U-Haul trucks are leaving in droves, taking one-way trips out and not coming back. A quick glance at pricing shows where the outflow is going. We check reservations for next weekend, beginning and ending in San Jose, for U-Haul's biggest truck, a 26-footer, and found a huge difference in price. A truck from Sacramento to San Jose is $110, but go the other way from San Jose to Sacramento, and the price jumps to $370. That's 340% of the cost going the other way. How about Austin to San Jose? $1,053. Going the other way is $4,320, or 400% of the cost. For Seattle, $680 versus $3,482. That's 500%. Portland, $402 versus $2,938. That's 730%. Phoenix, $132 versus $1,301, 980%. And finally, a truck from Las Vegas to San Jose costs only $132, but go the other way and it's nearly $2,000. That's a 1,500% difference.
As Professor Hansen pointed out, Democratic elites have created a system that exempts them from the effects of their own ideology. Pelosi is a particularly flagrant transgressor of this hypocrisy.
And again, it can't possibly be a statement of values for us to talk about, as Martin Luther King said, God really didn't intend, let me read his, God really didn't intend, never intended for one group of people to live in superfluous, inordinate wealth while others live in abject, deadening poverty. So these are kitchen table issues, though, for America's families, because most people are not in deadening poverty, but some are. But most people have to struggle to make ends meet. So no, we're not talking about that.
Pelosi, who claims to be representing the working class, is completely detached from reality. In fact, she's the wealthiest member of Congress.
Her wealth places her neatly in the top 1%. She is one of the richest members of Congress, with an estimated net worth of over $100 million. You can see why from this little story. On March the 18th, 2008, while she was Speaker, Nancy Pelosi bought $220,000 of Visa IPO, or initial public offering, stock. She got it a day before it was publicly traded, a privilege reserved for a select group of hand-picked investors. Here's where it gets really swampy. 2 weeks before she was given special access to the IPO stock, a piece of legislation called the Credit Card Fair Fee Act of 2008 was introduced in the House. It would have cut Visa's revenues and hurt Visa's stock price, something that then Speaker Pelosi now had a direct interest in. By a remarkable coincidence, this piece of antitrust legislation, normally such a priority for Democrats, never made it to a vote on the House floor. When this shady transaction was previously reported, Pelosi's office published a classic non-denial denial, including the following laughable claim. Leader Pelosi has been in the lead advocating for Congress to act in the public interest and not the special interest. Laughable because for 16 years, Leader Pelosi, aka Queen of the Swamp, has presided over one of the most blatant ways in which special interests get what they want in Washington: the institutional corruption of the congressional dues system.
Pelosi, Springsteen, and other wealthy leftists can't seem to understand that the policies they advocate for make middle-class living considerably harder. High taxes and heavy regulations stifle business, which hurts Americans. Perhaps one of these days, leftists will realize that supply-side economics works. If you would like more real news that you can trust, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel.